So we will start with the first chapter, है ना? Matter in our surrounding.
Yes.
Okay, and the code of this chapter is this 10 MIS 093C01. So, what are the chapters checklist? These are the chapters checklist. First, we will cover matter. Second, states of matter. Then, changes of states of matter. Effect of change of temperature, pressure, evaporation, and last is plasma and bone Einstein condensation. Okay.
Yes.
So first, we will go through with the matter. What is matter? Any idea what is matter?
Yes, ma'am. Matter is anything that has space, occupies volume, has mass, and can be perceived by our senses.
Yes, very good. So now,
Yes.
huh, so 1 minute. So what is matter? Matter, which is made up of a particles. Matter is what? Matter is made up of a small particles, right? And that small particles is like there's a very strong force of attraction within each particles that your particles can't move. They can only vibrate in their fixed position. Okay, what is matter? Matter is made up of a lots of particles, and in the particles there's a very strong force of attraction between them, as key your particles can't move from here and there, they can only vibrate in their fixed position. Okay,
Yes.
and the spaces, they don't have spaces between them. Okay, spaces are negligible. So here, particles, for example, okay, we'll discuss it later, but first we will discuss what is a solid state. So solid state is what? Can you give me example of a solid state? Any solid thing is the solid state. Any example?
Book.
Yeah, book. So a definite shape, distinct boundaries, and a fixed volume. Solids have what? Solids have a shape and a fixed volume. The pen which you are holding is also a solid because it's having a shape and a fixed volume. Okay? Tendency
Yes.
to maintain their shape. Solid is what? They have a tendency to maintain their shape, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Solids either do not diffuse or diffuse at a very low rate. And this is the very important point, that solid may break under force, but it is difficult to change their shapes so they are rigid. It means if I'm applying a lot of force in the solid, it may break, but they don't usually break. They are very rigid. Rigid means tendency to maintain their shape.
Yes, ma'am.
They have a tendency to maintain their shape, but if we will apply some strong force of attraction, some external force, so they may change their shape. Okay, but
Yes.
they don't break. Next,
Yes.
solids have higher densities as compared to the liquids or gas. Now, what is the meaning of higher density? So if you will see here in this diagram, this is your solid, which is made up of a higher density. Solid is having a higher density as compared to both liquid and gas. Why? Because you can already see from this picture that here lots of particles, lots of particles are there.
Yes, ma'am.
First, let me give you one example. See, this is a high density. High density means, what is the meaning of density? Can you see the dense forest? The dense forest is what? They don't have spaces between them. Lots of trees are there.
Yes.
है ना? They don't have usually spaces between them. Means the high density means the particles won't have space between them. Okay, so in the solids, the particles won't have space between them. That's why there's a very strong force of attraction. So they can't move here and there. They can only vibrate in their fixed position. And in the liquid and in the gas, see, in the liquid there are some spaces, right? As
Yes.
compared to your solid. So this is a less dense than your solid, and in gas there is a lots of spaces. It means gas is what? Gas is having a low density as compared to both solids and liquids. Okay? Density means what?
Mass per unit volume.
Density means that your particles are there in a very, like, the spaces between the particles is very less, and they are very dense like dense forest. Okay. For example, sugar, sand, rocks, stones, all are solid. Table,
Yes.
chair, bag, everything is solid. And what is the formula of a density? mass per unit volume. Mass by volume, which is equals to your density, right?
Yes,
Now, there are some exception. Exception is rubber band and clay. Why rubber band is the exception?
because like when we put the external
Hmm.
force on it, it
Ah,
changes it.
hmm. Yeah. So when we are when we are removing the external force, so the rubber band is again regaining its shape. है ना? It's not changing. So that's why rubber band is exception, as well as the clay which we used to play. Clay is also a exception of a solid state. Next, now any doubt in the solid state? What is solid? What is matter? Why particles are not moving? Why they are vibrating in their fixed position? Because they don't have spaces between them to move. That's why they only vibrate in their fixed position. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Liquid. Liquid do not have a definite shape. Yes, water, any liquid. They don't have shape, right?
Yes,
They take up the shape of a container in which they are kept. Let's say if we are pouring a water in a beaker, so what will happen? The water will take a shape of a beaker. If we are pouring a water in a glass, so water will take the shape of a glass. They don't have its own shape. They will take the shape of that particular thing in which we are keeping the water. Hmm.
yes,
Easy now?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. Huh. Liquid can liquids are not rigid. Rigid. What is the meaning of rigid?
I mean, like has it's very hard to well, it has a definite like shape.
हाँ means tendency to change their shape है ना.
Yes, ma'am.
Solids are very rigid, means they maintain their shape, and liquids are not rigid, means they don't maintain their shape, they don't have any shape. For example, sugar in water, when oxygen is dissolved in water, alcohol dissolved in water, they don't have any space, shape. Okay,
Yes,
so the density of a liquid is generally less than the solid. Here you can see the density of the liquid is generally less than the solid, because in liquid we have some spaces between the particles. That's why the density of a liquid is generally less than the solid. So if the spaces is there between the particles, so they can slightly move, है ना? But here they don't move because they don't have any spaces between them.
yes,
So some exceptions in liquid is solid ice is lighter than water as it floats on water. And the very important point is water, milk, juice, oil, kerosene, alcohol are all the examples of a liquid state. Now, what is the example of a gaseous state?
yeah. It can be oxygen, nitrogen.
Yes. So gas neither have a definite shape nor a definite volume. Solids don't have a shape, but gas don't have a shape also nor a definite volume also.
Yes, ma'am. And why does solid ice float on water?
What?
And why does ice float on water?
Why ice float on water? Solid ice float on water because it's solid. They have that tendency to move. That's means in a water you can easily float some solid particles now, because solid particles is more dense than your liquid particles.
Yes, ma'am.
So we can easily float it. That's why it's saying that solid ice is lighter than water as it floats on water, because solid is having a tendency to move because they are more what? They are more rigid.
Yes,
Next, gaseous. So what they are least rigidity? They have least rigidity. Least rigidity means they don't maintain their shape.
yes,
For example, the LPG cylinder. In cylinder, what we have? Gas, right?
yes, ma'am.
The particles move about randomly at a high speed. Due to this random movement, gases exert pressure on the walls of the container in which they are kept. For example, balloon. The particles move about randomly at a high speed. In the gaseous, what will happen? Your particles will move at a very high speed. Why particles are moving at a very high speed? Because they have a lots of spaces between them, so they can easily move with a very high speed. So particles are moving with a very high speed, and due to this random movement of a particles, what gases do? They exert pressure on the wall of a container. Like if we are putting a LPG cylinder, so what is happening? The particles which is inside the cylinder, they are exerting a pressure on the wall of a container in which they are kept. Why they are exerting pressure? Because they can move at a very high speed, and due to this random movement of your particles, they are exerting pressure on the walls of your container in which a gas is kept. Okay?
Yes.
The density of gas is minimum. A gas is much lighter than the same volume of a solid or a liquid, and the density of gas is also very minimum. Like from this only you can see now which is having the more density property: solid, liquid, or gas.
Solid. Why? Because the molecules are very tightly packed and then they have less spaces between them.
Yes, very good. So this part clear: solid state, solid, liquid, gas, density, rigidity. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
What is the formula of a density?
Mass per unit volume.
Yeah, M by V, mass by volume.
Yes, ma'am.
Now here also some points. What is matter? Anything that occupies a space and has mass in it is called a matter. है ना?
Yes, ma'am.
Three, and we have three states of matter: solid, liquid, and gas. This we will see in the next note. And condensation, solidification, we will all see this. What is the nature of matter? Nature of matter is divided into two types: properties and composition. What is properties? Properties means your color. What is the color of your um, color of anything? What is the smell? Density, like density of a solid state, color, smell, melting point, boiling point. Okay, so these are the properties of a matter: color, smell, density, melting point, boiling point. Hmm. And particles of matter is what? The particles of matter is very small. They have spaces between them, and particles of matter attracts each other, and they are constantly moving, just like here. The particles of matter is what? Matter, which is made up of the particles. They have a very strong force of attraction. They can't move. They can only vibrate. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now here some more points. Solid, certain size, shape, volume. Particles are closely, regularly, tightly packed. Why they are tightly packed? Because they don't have any spaces between them. That's why they are very tightly packed.
Yes.
If solids will also have spaces, then what will happen? We can't call it as solid now, because solid is what? Solid means the name itself is like solid, very, very packed thing. है ना?
Yes,
Extremely large, rigid means which is maintaining its shape. Example: sugar, salt cannot move, but they can only breathe. What about liquid? No shape, no volume, freely it can move. Forces of attraction is very less because the spaces is very more. For example, milk, and does not have a definite shape. Example: oil and water. What about gas? Neither have a definite volume nor have a shape. Far apart, freely move, and there's no force of attraction between them because they have a very huge spaces between each particle. Okay, got it? Any doubt?
no, ma'am.
Okay. This is also same. The gas is okay. This is very important. Changes of state of matter: fusion, melting point, sublimation, vaporization, freezing, condensation. Now, if let's say first we will learn about fusion. That what is fusion? The process of conversion of a matter from its solid state to a liquid state. So when a matter is converting from solid to liquid, is that process is known as fusion, or you can also say melting point. When a matter is converting from solid to liquid, this is what? Fusion state, है ना? Fusion property, fusion process.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, from solid to liquid fusion. What is boiling point? Means the process of conversion of a matter from a liquid to a gaseous state is the boiling point. This is your boiling point. From liquid to vapor, which is your boiling point. And boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius.
Yes,
है ना? Next, what is sublimation? The process of change of a solid state directly into a gaseous state. Means when a matter changes its changes its what state from solid to directly gas. Means liquid is not included over here. Directly from the solid to gas. So this property is known as sublimation. Okay?
Yes.
If liquid is not included, then it's called sublimation. Next, what is vaporization? The process of a conversion of a matter from liquid state to a gas state. From liquid to a, oh, this we already did. From liquid to gas state is a vaporization. Same as boiling point. What is freezing? Freezing point is what? Means when a process of conversion of a matter from liquid state to solid state. When we keep a let's say a bowl of water in a fridge, what will happen? What?
It will become ice.
And ice is what? Ice is solid. है ना? So
Yes.
freezing point means when it's converting its state from liquid to solid. Okay. What is condensation? Condensation means when a process of conversion of matter is from gaseous to solid, means the reverse process. From a gas to a liquid. It's a condensation. Now,
Yes.
first is what? From solid to liquid, which is a melting state. From liquid to vapor, which is a boiling state. From solid to directly gas, when liquid is not included, is known as sublimation. Liquid to solid, freezing point, and gas to liquid, the reverse process is known as the condensation process.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So these are what? These are the changes of states of matter. When your matter changes their state from solid to liquid or liquid to gas or solid to gas, liquid to gas, like that. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So this diagram is very important. Here it's saying when solid changes from solid to liquid, that was what? When solid changes to liquid,
Fusion.
what?
Fusion.
That was fusion. And when liquid changes to solid, that process is known as solidification.
Yes,
Okay. And when liquid changes to gas, that process is known as vaporization. And the reverse process from gas to liquid is known as condensation. Okay, please note it down this diagram. And when solid is converting to gas, where liquid is not included, is known as sublimation. And back from gas to a liquid is known as desublimation.
we can call it deposition.
Deposition also we can call it. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Done?
Yes, ma'am.
And there are what? There are three scales on which the temperature of a system can be measured. These are the three scales. Celsius scale, Fahrenheit scale, which is known as degree F, Celsius, which is known as degree C, and the Kelvin scale, which is K. So
Yes.
here there's a three formulas converting what? Converting a temperature. First of all, this is the first one. Wait. Let me mark it. Temperature on a Kelvin scale is equal to temperature on Celsius plus 273.16. Second is temperature, please note it down. Temperature on a Celsius is what? Temperature on a Kelvin minus 273.16. And what about Fahrenheit? The Fahrenheit formula is degree F, which is equals to 9 by 5 degrees Celsius plus 32.
Yes.
Note it down?
Yes.
Okay, so now 1 minute. You have to tell me the answer of this. Let me just erase it. You have to calculate, convert the temperature of Kelvin to a Celsius scale.
Yes, ma'am.
Four,
Kelvin is
450.
Celsius equal to 4 plus 3.1 plus. Yes, ma'am. So it would be 176.8.
What? 17?
6.84.
176.84?
Yes, ma'am.
6.84. Okay, let me just reveal the answer. It's correct. You have to apply this formula now. Celsius is equal to temperature on Kelvin minus 273.16
Yes, ma'am. 270.16
Huh.
subtracted.
And you have to subtract and you will write this. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And this one is not easy. Convert the temperature of 200 degrees Celsius to a Kelvin scale. Can you convert it? 200 degrees Celsius to a Kelvin?
2 Kelvin. So Kelvin would
Two.
be Celsius plus
Huh.
273.16, which is
Yes.
200 plus this one, which is 473.16.
Hmm. Simply you have to add it. Okay. So you are done with this. In the next class, we will start latent heat because latent heat is a very big topic and I want to, means it's a very important topic, latent heat, and it's already 5:34, so it's your assignment time, and we will start latent heat in the next class. So you can ask me any doubt in matter or in the changes of states of matter or in anything. Any doubt till now?
No, ma'am.
Sure.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so take a break for 5 minutes and I'll share assignment on WhatsApp. Okay,
Yes,
you are
ma'am.
there in WhatsApp on 9 10 group now?
Ma'am, can you come again?
You are there on WhatsApp now, 9 and 10 group.
No, ma'am. I don't
No,
think so.
let me share.
Ma'am?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. So finding the density, they have given the mass and the volume, and the volume is 80 ml. So like we have to convert it to like, which unit?
Uh, Mass is given 208 grams now,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
volume is 80. So simply 208 upon 80 ml.
Okay, ma'am. So we don't have to convert the
No,
volume
no,
to
no, no. 1 ml is what? 1 ml is 1 centimeter cube.
cube. So we can just keep it like that.
So it answer on dividing you will get 2.6 something, na? So you can write 2.6 gram per centimeter cube. Okay, getting it or want to write me?
Yes, ma'am. Getting it.
Okay, okay.
Ma'am?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. So, like the sixth question, why solid ice floats on water? Ma'am, like in school, our teacher had mentioned something about anomalous expansion because the gases will get trapped. Ma'am, can you explain that once?
Uh, solid ice. Solid ice floats on water because it has lesser density than water.
Yes, ma'am. And also, our teacher was telling something about anomalous expansion. Ma'am, can you explain that?
Which expansion?
Anomalous expansion.
Anomalous expansion. But you can simply write the density one, na? No need to write this anomalous expansion and all. Okay.
Okay.